All right, so this is legislative branch, so we're dealing with today. Uh, first thing, first page, okay? Dramatic. First page, checks and balances, okay? This is a basic illustration of how to do checks and balances and what each of them follow, okay? So, the Constitution, okay? What the Constitution focuses on, all right? On page 3, all right? It employs 3 major devices that help to prevent any one part of the government from becoming too powerful. They are.
Are we on page 3?
Correct.
Page number. Right in the corner. Wait, I don't
Federal system, separation of powers, and checks and balances, okay? These 3 pieces are what prevent any one part of the government of becoming too powerful, all right? The federal system. What we end up with the federal system, okay, this is the idea that states and the federal government will work together, okay? That they will get along. What we will see with that is that there is an idea called federal supremacy. What federal supremacy means is that if there is a state law and there is a federal law that go against one another, the federal law will trump the state law. So, right now, where we have seen that in play is with marijuana being legalized in Washington and Colorado, right? It is illegal to have marijuana on a federal level, but the United States government has said that we will not, or they will not prosecute against the states for legalizing marijuana. So they're basically saying that we are giving up our right to affect that, right? Whereas you'll see, for example, abortion laws, right? A state can limit abortion, but they cannot make abortion illegal because, according to the federal government, the it is illegal, or abortion is legal. So you can restrict it, but you can't make it illegal. Okay. So the separation of powers. All right. This is making sure that each branch has a different job, and we will talk about that more specifically when we get into it. But the legislative branch has a role, the judicial branch has a role, the executive branch has a role. And checks and balances are making it so that if one body, for example, passes a law, another body must approve the law, and yet another body will determine if the law is constitutional or not. So there is a step for each piece. Okay? Questions about that?
Wait, one passes it, one approves it, and the last one does what?
Determines if it's constitutional. All right? So, on to page 5, okay? The preamble of the Constitution. The preamble of the Constitution this is the mission statement of the United States of America. If you read the preamble, this should be, if you want to know what the United States stands for, this is where it is in one sentence. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States. Okay? So those 5 pieces that we see in the preamble are sort of the overall things that we feel are most significant within our government and within our country. And as you see that, you'd probably agree with them. All right?
We've seen those
thing?
and that it's the mission state, that it's the, if you think about it, the best way I think to think about it is that it is stating the most core ideals for the United States in those in those pieces. Okay, so the legislative branch. Okay, the legislative branch, their job is to make laws, right? It is split in two. The first is the House of Representatives. All right? The House of Representatives are made up of the people of the United States. There are 435 members. All right? And those 435 members are based on population. We have in Minnesota 8 members of the House of Representatives. The most a state has is California. I believe they have 48 at this point. All right? That changes every 10 years. We have a census in which we determine population of states. That is where they will determine if the numbers change or not within a state. Okay?
Are those like are they like specific people? Like are they the senators?
They would be called the congressmen.
So this is one house.
This is the lower house of Congress. Okay?
Of the legislative branch.
Oh man, that wasn't supposed to happen anymore. That's going to be exciting to see. Wow, wow, wow.
What is going on?
All your assholes.
Wow. Hello. Okay, we're back. That's great that that's been recorded now. Okay, so what we have here, okay? Two-year term, okay? They only serve 2 years, meaning that every 2 years the entire House of Representatives has the potential to be changed. All right? You must be at least 25 years old. Okay? You must be a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years. So you can be an immigrant and be in the House. Okay? And you must live in the state that you represent. So if you want to be a Minnesota congressperson, you must live in the state of Minnesota. You do not need to live in the district that you will be representing, but it's weird if you don't live in the district. Okay? The chief of the House is the Speaker of the House. Speaker of the House today is who? Anyone know? What'd you say? Who is the actual Speaker of the House? What's his name? Anyone know? Speaker of the House is John Boehner. You guys have heard about Boehner. He has taken a huge beating in the news the last couple of weeks.
Do we know our specific people for each kind?
I think it's good to know that.
But like before
But
that.
for this
I'm not going to ask you that necessarily, but I think it's good to know that.
necessary.
Boehner is if Boehner is number 3 in line for president. So it goes Obama, Biden. If both of them were to die, then Boehner would be the president.
So the third in command.
Yeah. So they have a pretty big role. Okay. So one of the big tasks that the House has is they have the power of impeachment.
This is still part of legislative.
This is all the House. Okay? This is all the legislative branch that we're doing today, and this is the House of Representatives right now.
Which is under the legislative.
Correct. The power of impeachment. When you impeach someone, that means you are attempting to remove them from office. If you are impeached, that does not mean you are kicked out of office. Okay? If you are impeached, what that means is that you have been charged with a crime. All right? A crime in office. So, Bill Clinton was impeached by the House. But that is the only step that you have. So this is to be basically accused of a crime. And we'll talk about the next steps of impeachment when we get to the Senate. Yes, if you're impeached, yes, you are a yes. It can be a series of crimes. So we'll talk about what those can be. Okay? So that is the House. Those are the House, that's the House's specific jobs. Okay? Next, the Senate.